All right, we will call to order the meeting of town council for October 14th. Everybody rise for the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Yeah. A few announcements. The Shining Star Gala will be held November 9th at the Chadwick. Tickets are available for purchase on the town website. I know everybody's exciting time of the season. Leaf pickup will begin today, October 14th. Leaf bags are available for purchase at Town Hall. If you are a Leaf Street, I think the postcard went around, and you can also look on our website. The Heritage and Cultural Center will host a special presentation on the history of the telephone on Thursday, October 24th at 6 p.m. Any other announcements from anyone else on council? No? At this time, public comment on agenda items only. Please come forward, state your name and address. There being no public comment. The previous meeting minutes for September 23rd were emailed. Everybody have a chance to review them. Can I have a motion to approve those minutes?
Motion to approve.
President, there was one correction that needed.
Okay. Please.
On page 4, instead of it saying reports of the rec committee with public comment, it should have said reports of the planning zoning committee.
Thank you for that.
Mm-hmm.
Is there a motion to approve as amended? Mr. Hart?
Motion to approve as amended by Trish.
There a second?
Second.
Second. Nick, all those in favor, please indicate by saying aye.
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 Opposed? Motion carries.
I abstain.
And we have one abstain. Moving on to reports of committees, public safety, Mr. Wall.
Is
The chief's not here. The chief's report is in your packet. If you have any questions, they can be directed to our town manager.
Fire marshal's report.
Evening all.
Evening, Jeff.
I do not have anything to add to the report other than to say that Fire Prevention Month is in full swing. Starting to lose my voice, but I got a couple more weeks to go, so hopefully we hold on. Other than that, any questions?
My daughter was very excited to have you at the elementary school.
Which one was it?
McKnight.
Awesome kids. All right, thank you.
Thank you.
Jeff,
Thanks, Jeff.
I do have a question.
Yes.
You know what the question is? Any luck?
On
The stores fitting?
the grant. That's right. We did talk. So the FEMA grant for the storage connections for the hydrant, the deadline for awards was September 30th, and we did not get it. So as far as I know, we didn't. I went on their site and checked up and down, and I did not see Ingemar's name. So I don't know if they've gone on and checked, but I have to pretty much assume 99.9%.
Is there
that we
another
did not
avenue
get.
we can pursue?
So obviously there would be next year, we could resubmit for the grant. The other option is to maybe look into, if the town wants to start replacing or buying some of those adapters and getting them fitted on. Westview Water's already agreed that it's okay. They'll put them on the hydrants, but they just won't pay for the connections. So if that's something the town wants to look at here in the future, be more than happy to.
How much are they, Jeff?
They're about 100, if I recall, they're about $170, $180 a piece. We have, my last count was over 750 hydrants, but there was probably almost 100 of those that were private hydrants. So.
And do we have the ability to make it mandatory for the private owners?
Yes, we have.
We did that.
We have a new ordinance that if a private hydrant needs repaired or replaced, that it would have to come into compliance, meaning they would have to provide a storage fitting.
So we did it, but we're not making it mandatory.
No, it's only for private hydrants. Yeah.
But we didn't
correct.
make it retroactive either.
Correct. It wasn't
That's
like,
what I mean.
yes, yeah, correct. It's just moving forward. Any new private hydrants or hydrants that need private hydrants that need replaced, those owners would need to provide storage fittings.
Thank you.
Anything else? Thank you.
Thank you.
Building permit report is in your packet. If you have any questions, let me know. Liaison reports, personnel board. The minutes are in your packet. If you have any questions, let me know. Volunteer firefighter steering committee, Mr. Hart.
There was no meeting, since our, last council meeting.
McCandless Franklin Park Ambulance Authority, Mr. Casey.
The report should be in your packet. Any questions? Happy to entertain them.
Any public comment on public safety? With that, I'll turn it over to Mr. Hart.
So our next, agenda item is reports on facilities management. Staff report. Brad, if you'd like to have any, comment on public works activity.
I have nothing to add to my report. Any questions?
As always, the photos are awesome.
Fantastic.
You guys are doing a good job.
Keep that snow up north. Don't let it come down.
Keep it up there.
Yeah, nice report. Appreciate it.
Good.
Thanks.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Liaison reports, environmental advisory committee,
Meeting minutes in
Mr.
your
Giorgetti.
packet. If you have any questions, let me know.
ad hoc technology committee, Mr. Wall.
We had an informal meeting because I had never met the ad hoc technology committee. I do have minutes that I will submit. But it's very limited because it was just a meeting to get to know one another.
Ad hoc stormwater management committee, Mr. Singer.
There was no meeting.
Public comment on facilities management. Seeing none, we'll move on to Mr. Casey.
Reports on the service committee, liaison reports, the MTSA authority reports in your packet. If you have any questions, I'm happy to entertain them. Mr. Giorgetti.
We have Amy Steele in the house to give us an overview of
Nice.
the budget.
Thank you all for having us here. I'm going to keep this short because I took more of your time last month with all of our updates from the library. I know you have the copy of our budget, the highlights. On the revenue side, state funding is flat. That was approved several months ago, so we know we're not seeing any increase there. We're projecting a 3% increase in funding from RAD. They've frozen the formula for this year, so no adjustments there. They won't approve their preliminary budget until I think they have their meeting the end of this month, early November usually. I think they have public hearing comments tomorrow down there at RAD. So
And isn't that good news for you guys though? Because they've tried to reduce you in each of the last 4 years, right?
yes, as they make adjustments to the formula, it usually in recent years has cost Northland some funding. So they're just delaying it because they have so many new board members on the RAD board. So next year will be a gift year for us, but we expect those formula discussions to commence during 2025 for impact in 2026. Our total municipal increase across all 5 municipalities, we worked really, really hard to keep it under 3%. So that's an overall 2.75% increase for the municipalities. It's just a little over 3% increase for McCandless. And the highlight of all of this on the revenue side is our foundation. They have continued to increase their funding. It's about a 20% increase for next year from our foundation. And that comes from a couple of things. They've recalculated and come up with a strict formula that they will follow so that we receive the maximum amount off of their endowment while preserving the principal, including growth for inflation off of the endowment. Plus pretty much everything that they fundraise is coming our way as part of our operations budget. We're hoping that that will prove to be a steady way to calculate that amount, but obviously with their fundraising, there's going to be some good years and and some years that, you know, maybe don't do quite as well, but that's a huge relief for us. And they're also stepping up for our construction project with some grant money for that, as well as fundraising for that project.
And just to touch base on that real quick with you, I know previous councils asked that. Previous councils asked for buy-in from your foundation, you know, if you were continually come to municipalities, with increasing, you know, I know a request of previous McCown's council was, can your foundation. So we really do appreciate that and the foundation's efforts to kick up for that. That
Yeah,
means a lot.
They're pretty much giving us everything they possibly can at this point. So I wouldn't expect 20% increase over next year unless we have a
Sure.
really awesome gala, but that's possible. You never know. But on the expense side, you know, we've held everything as tight as we can. Overall, on the expense side is about a 4.5 increase over this year's budget. Payroll is about 5.25% increase. That's holding to just a 3% merit raise pool for us. We had a staff member who was on an extended leave who is now returning. So that accounts for some of the extra funding there. Plus we are increasing a few hours to our foundation staff because they're doing such an amazing job and they're raising so much they hardly have enough time to process all the donations. So we're increasing a few hours there. So that's the increase in payroll. Healthcare, we've budgeted about a 17% increase. We are looking to change our plans because we can't afford to continue to do what we've been doing. So we're getting kind of creative with our broker. We are reinstating the staff member who was on leave that had been a full-time position. So that had come off of this year's budget, but we need to reinstate that. And there was another healthcare eligible position that we did not fill, but the increase in hours we're giving for the foundation support staff, who also works as a librarian in another department, brings that up to an eligible position as well. So we had to account for those two increases of eligibility on the healthcare. Our computers expense is actually going to be down next year thanks to some countywide grants, one from RAD that paid for the replacement of all of the public library computers, as well as a grant from the Henry L. Hillman Foundation that covered the cost of the replacement of all of our wireless access points. And we really reaped that benefit because we are adding, I think, what did we add, Bob? 3 or 4? Three additional access points to be able to cover the new addition that we're putting in and cover some spots where our Wi-Fi coverage wasn't quite as good as it should be. As always, we are maintaining our 12% expenditure on our collection. That's a requirement to receive the state funding. So, and that's based on what we spend, our actual expenditures. So we always try to budget a little bit higher than that because you never know what's going to come up throughout the year. And then there's an increase in the depreciation costs because of the new construction. So that's kind of a summary on the budget. Before I entertain questions, I do want to just share. We did receive notice this week or last week from the state that we did receive a multi-purpose facilities grant to the tune of $650,000 to go towards our construction project. Thank you. And then also late on Friday, we received word from the North Boroughs Rotary. They applied for a district grant on our behalf for $10,000 for the universal changing table in our ADA accessible restroom that we're putting in. So that's an additional $10,000 towards that project, which brings our total outside grant funding for the project to a little over $2.4 million. So we're pretty proud of that. Well, good. I'll entertain any questions you have about the budget or the project. We've started some preliminary work, just preparing things and doing a little bit of demolition work, but we hope to be in full construction mode here shortly.
How happy are you that Cumberland Road is finally paved?
Oh my gosh. And I need to reach out to Representative Venkat's office, who was so helpful with that. They did it in record time. They started Wednesday night. They're done. So yes.
It's a relief for everyone.
Yes, big relief.
Does your footprint change with the new addition or is it just up?
We'll be adding a little bit to the footprint, about 1,400 square feet on the footprint, but it's 2 stories.
Thank you.
Were you able to fit in the coffee shop?
Yes.
That's
Yes, we
fantastic.
have. So the additional grants definitely solidified that. In fact, we're working on right now on the RFP to solicit proposals from local coffee vendors.
Any other
Anything
questions?
else? Okay, thank you all. very
Thank
much.
you.
Thanks, Amy.
Any public comment on services? There being none, we can move on. There is no old business, so we can get into new business. Some items, first item up is item A. This was regards to a junior council member for the EAC.
Happy to make it.
Do you want to go ahead and do that, Nick?
Motion to appoint Jane Shao as junior member to the Environmental Advisory Committee.
Is there a second?
I'll second.
Second, Mr. Casey. All those in favor, please indicate by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. Next item up, these are a little bit of housekeeping items. These are check signatures, for our new town manager. So the first one here, if we can get a motion.
I'll make a motion to adopt tentatively identified resolution number 11 of the 2024 series authorizing the general investment of town funds by town manager John Schwend to make transfer of said deposited funds from and to accounts only in the name of and owned by the town of McCandless.
There's a motion. Is there a second?
Second.
Second. All those in favor, please indicate by saying aye.
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 Opposed? Motion carries. Continuing on, another one relating to signatures and documents. I want to make that motion.
I'll make a motion. Motion to adopt tentatively identified resolution number 12 of the 2024 series, amending resolution number 16 of 2022 of the 2022 series by naming current signatories authorized to sign documents relative to the town of McCandless defined benefit pension plans.
There's been a motion. Is there a second?
Second.
All those in favor, please indicate by saying aye.
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 Opposed? Motion carries.
I make a motion for the next one.
Let me just brief it up there real quick. This is again, housekeeping items. This is in our non-uniform defined pension plan.
Motion to adopt tentatively identified resolution number 13 of the 2024 series authorizing reimbursement to the town for administrative charges of $26,000. Then allocate to the police pension fund $512,812 to its non-uniform defined benefit pension plan. $22,488 into its non-uniform money purchase pension plan, $30,106.19 from the 2024 allocation of general municipal pension system aid. Said monies to be deposited in the appropriate accounts.
That's a mouthful.
Is there a
second.
second? Mr. Casey, any questions? Trish is here to answer them, but this is standard every year. Okay, all those in favor, please indicate by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. Next is a motion to approve the budget as it was presented this evening for Northland Library.
Happy to make that. Motion to approve the 2025 Northland Public Library budget.
There's a motion. Is there a second?
Second.
Second by Mr. Wall. All those in favor, please indicate by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. At this time, is there any public comment on non-agenda items? No public comment, then we will adjourn to executive session to discuss personnel and legal matters. Is there a motion to adjourn?
So move. Motion to move.
Second, all those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed?
Aye.
Thank you, everybody.
So what?